You're listening to the Grit to Growth podcast. Real talk with real business owners and professionals who built their freedom the hard way and now want more time, money, and impact.
Hello, everyone. I'm Levi with Mailbox Money in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and today's guest is Nick Yost from Rapid City, South Dakota. Nick is the medical director at Beauty Med, where she leads clinics focused on aesthetics, wellness, and patient care. She's built a career that blends healthcare, entrepreneurship, and community leadership. And I'm excited to have her here and learn more about her journey. Nick, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah, so Nick, you've had such a wide-ranging career from nursing to entrepreneurship. Can you tell us a little bit about your background and what led you to the work that you're doing today?
Yeah, I grew up on a small farm in the middle of South Dakota, middle of nowhere. Just kind of was always unsure what I wanted to do. Have a couple college degrees that meant absolutely nothing, and just searching for a long time. And but I always believed, just very positive attitude, always believed there was something out there. I had to find it. I knew I'd find my passion. So after college, I went and traveled a lot. I was a nanny for a few families. I worked on private yachts. I lived on boats, traveled all over the world.
Where was that at?
I started in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, spent a lot of time in the Bahamas, but I was in the Mediterranean, Caribbean, up in the Northeast, like Rhode Island, in
That's
Newport.
a little bit different than South Dakota.
Yeah, my family was like, "What are you doing? Why?" And then I did do one charter that went from Seattle all the way down the West Coast through Central America, through the Panama Canal, and then back up all the way to Fort Lauderdale. So that was a cool experience as well. But I was just searching. I was just out there kind of trying to figure it all out. I moved back in 2006 to Huron and opened first craft beer bar in South Dakota, and I loved live music. And so it was in foreclosure. I bought it. I bought a house in foreclosure, and then it just kind of morphed. Like entrepreneurship is I still, when people call me that name, I'm still like, am I an entrepreneur? I guess I am. But
So it's never part of the game plan. It just kind of became.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It just, I've been very blessed with it just happens to me. So, but I came into, that 2008 crash in a place where I could capitalize on it. And in Huron, you could still buy houses for $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, put 10 to 20 in them and flip them. Little did I know that was going to be like a TV craze. Could have got in on that, but
it sounds like you got kind of all those trends before they, the craft beer that really blew up. The house flipping blew up. Yeah,
I know.
That's amazing.
I know. I just didn't apparently put it out there, but it was all I owned some rental properties, and I really just was never satisfied. I just knew that this wasn't what I was supposed to do. I loved everything that I did. And then I had some tragedy in my family, and my brother passed away very suddenly, and it was kind of a medical neglect situation. And so I just had a message from somewhere. The universe pushed me towards nursing school, did the accelerated program at SDSU. And literally, I don't know if I ever made a choice after that day, because life just swooped me and took me where it wanted me to go. I did a lot of emergency rooms on the Indian reservations. I did the front lines of COVID in inner city Brooklyn. Literally worked COVID and mobsters, the wildest stuff. But I started.
That sounds like a movie title.
Honestly, it probably will be someday. No, but so that then I started Beauty Med in 2019, and I rented a room in a med spa in downtown Rapid City. I just had like a 5-year plan to get out of the emergency room. And because I just knew, like, as I was getting older, that was going to be so hard physically to maintain. And I went full time in 5 months, and it just blew up. But then I thought it was going to be shut down as non-essential healthcare with COVID. I got to New York and about 2 weeks in, and they said, actually, we're not shutting down, but I had signed a 13-week contract. So I worked through that height of COVID. And then I came back. I actually re-credentialed to go back to Pine Ridge ER, and I went through the training, and I literally never worked a shift. My phone blew up that fast. Like
That's
you're
crazy.
still doing beauty med, right? Like I'm like, I can. But it was a lot of, immunity. All you could see from here up, you could only see people's faces from here up. So they wanted a lot of Botox.
Yep. Makes
Right. And
sense.
it kind of just all, and then I'm just a functional medicine type thinker. And so as I would get people in my chair, they'd be like, "Hey, Nick, let me ask you about something about my thyroid, or what about hormones?" And because I had already always dabbled in that personally, I come from a very personal journey of having Hashimoto's autoimmune thyroid disease and PCOS, which was a very like cystic ovarian syndrome. So I've
Okay.
really struggled with two conditions that women really have a hard time finding help for. And so then it just morphed into this. I started just writing orders for people to get labs and just recommending things while they were sitting in my Botox chair. And then within probably a year, actually the nurse who's been with me the longest, she's been with me for 5 years. She sent me a message the other day and said, "Thank you for taking a chance on me, believing in me, and interviewing me on on boxes in your new
Yeah.
office." Because that's literally, I was like, "Come on in, you can sit on that box there. I'll sit
Sit
on
on
this."
that box. We don't have the chairs yet.
Right. And I just thought it was interesting that she said I had taken a chance on her because she was taking a huge chance on me. And then it's
Very
just
cool.
grown and grown and grown ever since and evolved. And I'm actually just getting ready to rebrand. Just because 50% of my patients are men, and
Hmm.
beauty med just doesn't, we're not beauty med anymore.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
so before getting into what the next steps look like, take me where Beauty Med, is it just in Rapid City currently,
no,
or is it
we have another clinic in Platte. I just got back last night about 11 o'clock from 3 days
okay?
in Platte. So Platte, South Dakota, kind of, in between like Kimball and Mitchell, a little off
Yep.
the interstate, but yeah, little town. I worked with Heather is my nurse there. We both worked in Pine Ridge. She called me one day, same situation, like, "Girl, I got to get out of the ER. It's beating me up."
Yep.
And so we had a similar plan for her. In a few years, maybe I can, just help my husband on the farm and do some Botox. And then within a year, that clinic blew up too. So
Yeah.
I need to quit saying,
More so her husband's coming in to help her type thing,
"Oh,
right?
for real." He's like our best salesman, like ever. Yeah, I'll be like, "How'd you hear about us?" "Well, Darren, yeah." So, yeah,
That's great. Funny
yeah,
how life works that way. You think one
yeah,
thing and then
very.
the complete opposite happens.
Oh, that's for sure in my life. Yeah.
So, obviously, you were saying you've been all over the place. You were in New York. Was that right before COVID or during COVID?
So I was there February, March, April, May of 2020.
Okay, so
So,
right at the start.
yeah.
Yeah.
So war zone, like
Is
bodies in
that
refrigerated semi trailers. I mean, bad, bad.
what excelled you to move back to South Dakota then, kind of that time?
Well,
Or was that
I
always
really
on
just
your heart?
I really just took a short contract. Honestly, what my thoughts were is I need to go there. And because I really had just kind of like, well, I had fun with my little business for a year, but if there was still a lot of gloom and doom at that time. That was the big shock and awe time, right? So I I knew I had to set myself up to be marketable. And so I went to New York. I worked in a COVID ER, and I just wanted to be able to come back here and be able to know the most about COVID, help the patients the best I could. Probably was going to go back to the res because that's where I love to work. But either way, I wanted to be the most marketable and knowledgeable about COVID so that I could give back. And so that's really why I went, was just as an education.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Let's hear a little bit now, besides the beauty med and what the future plans there. Are you doing all of those other side hustles still, or has that been the main focus now?
Oh no, now we're just kind of straight on. I mean, I pretty much we still do aesthetics. we have just a great base of aesthetics that we do, and my nurses are very good at it. But I mainly for me, I really just do a lot of hormone replacement, thyroid management, diabetes management, or just really optimal health. And that's kind of where the new name came from, which the new name is Body Opt.
Okay, that makes sense. That's a great name. And yeah, like you said, to capture more of the market, feel more
Yeah.
inclusive towards it. Yeah, I love it. So what is it that you wish most people understood about, getting that inclusivity in there about health and wellness? Sometimes there's a stigma about that kind of stuff. What would you say to people who kind of have those hesitancies?
I think we've come a long way in 6.5 years of my business. So, I mean, I think I can honestly say we're in such a good place where people are advocating for themselves in medicine. But I think, you know, my thing is if you can just come in my door and meet me and talk to me for an hour, like my appointments are 1 hour long, and I'm never going to tell you to eat less and move more. You can do better. Your labs look great. I listen, and it
Yeah,
takes an hour. It truly takes an hour to get to the bottom of someone's like core health issues.
that
So
makes
that's where I think people are really burned out in medicine. They're frustrated. Their insurance isn't covering things anymore. I am a fully cash pay, but I just try to keep that affordable. And I tell them, like, in all honesty, coming to my practice and becoming fully optimal, you're probably looking at $1,000 a year with labs and
wow.
consult.
That's
And so,
much cheaper than I thought it would
right.
be.
And that's my thing. I guess I think people are scared that they can't afford it.
Yeah, that makes
And
sense. And then you kind of hit on the part that so by making it affordable, not having to deal with it, that cuts a lot of red tape with insurance, right?
yeah, it does. I about 3 years ago, I considered getting on and filing insurance for a big insurance company, and I talked to them. And in that conversation, I couldn't believe the things they told me I had to do, even with my patients who didn't have insurance. And I was
Uh,
like, wait. This is my practice. And if someone doesn't have that insurance, why do they have to do your rules? And they're like, no, now you signed with us. It's our rules. And I was like, okay, no, thank you. And she was like, excuse me? She's like, everybody wants to be a provider for us. And I was like, not everybody.
yeah,
Have a nice day.
yeah, it sounds like it would quickly turn into their business instead of yours. Good on
Yeah.
you for
They
making
just
that decision.
they just dictate care. And the fact of the matter is I like to be able to give people what they need today. Like they've already, honestly, I'm kind of people's last resort because they've went to their GP, they've went to specialists, they've went to everybody else. And then they're like, well, I guess I'll go try this Nick out, see what she has to offer. What else? I'll give it a try. And so I'm often the last resort, but it it's always, I mean, I always say, like, everyone cries in the first consult, like men, women, everybody does. But that's how much hope that people don't have.
Yeah, it's kind of a consultation slash kind of sounds like a therapy session a little bit for people if they're
Well,
at their wits end.
one of those really ridiculous degrees I got was a psych degree. So I mean, I guess I
Hey, it
find,
worked out for you.
yeah. So yeah,
Amazing.
therapy.
Very good. Well, besides that, are you still doing anything kind of in the real estate market or you
Not a
solely
single
focus?
thing. Yeah. I
There you
really,
go.
so kind of a funny story. I bought a laser about, it's probably going on about 6 years ago. And I went to my banker, who is kind of, I mean, small town. I've kind of always stuck with like a local small town bank. And so, I mean,
Definitely never thought they'd be getting asked for a loan for a
yeah,
medical laser, right?
he still is like, I do not know what you do. I have no idea. But lasers are expensive. And I went to him, I said,
Yes.
I think this is my next step. And he was like, oh, wow. Well, let me think about it. And he came to me and he said, You can have a laser, you can have a house, but you can't have both.
Wow.
And I was like, I'll take the laser then and I'll sleep at Beauty Med because to me that has more potential. So that's what I did. And now I've got 3 lasers and, so it's just, I don't know. I just made choices this is definitely what I'm meant to do, what I'm supposed to do. And so I, here I am. Like I can't stop. I just have to keep evolving and keep going. And my practice is changing so much into regenerative medicine with stem cells and exosomes and peptides. So yeah, it's just, this is my direction and I don't have time for the real estate part. So
You focus on what matters. I love it.
Yep.
If you wouldn't mind, I think any kind of entrepreneur would like to maybe hear how your relationship with the bank, like from that first meeting, he doesn't know what the heck's going on, how that evolved to now you're able to get another practice, get more lasers, and just touch on that a little bit.
I've kind of had the same banker through a lot of things, and I feel like they've just never understood me. Even when I went, buying that bar in foreclosure, and I think from day one that I didn't know I was an entrepreneur, but from day one when I had these ideas, they were always just like, "Oh boy, oh girl," and I didn't come from anything. I didn't have. I mean, everything that I have built has been straight up from the ground. And so I just have always went in and said, like, you know what? Give me 90 days. Give me 6 months. And I never really ask for, I really kind of try to put everything back into my business. I think that's just what you have to do in those first years. And every business has this different, some businesses say like, if you can make that first year, you're good. If you can make if you can make it 2 years, you're good. Most health clinics are 8 to 10 years. So if you can make it 8 to 10, then you're good. I'm at 6.5. So to me, I'm still trying to make it. But, my biggest thing is like work ethic. You have to show up.
Yeah.
Like people want to see you at your business. I don't care if it is a bar or a rental property or a clinic, they want to see your face and
Be involved.
Be involved, know what's happening, make it yours. And, I get asked all the time, like, what's your business model? And my business model is to show up.
Yeah. A little bit of grit and grind, right?
Yep, exactly. Like there's I was, in the first 6 months of Beauty Med, I was driving. I had an apartment in Rapid City. I was sleeping on an air mattress and I was driving down to Pine Ridge, working nights in the emergency room and then coming to Rapid City, and I was attached to a salon. And so we had an agreement and they would just like walk people over and do you want a B12 shot? Do you want to do you want to try Botox today? Do you want to hear about it? And I was there for 12 hours and I closed down. There was a stylist that was new. His name was Shane, and it was me. And every night it was us closing down that place. People walked out at 5 and we were like,
oh, we're just getting started. Come on.
Yeah, like we still have hours left. Come on. And I truly believe that's what built my business, was being available. And just, I put 50,000 miles in my car that year, just driving back and forth, but I had to make sure that it was going to happen. So there it is.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
So, obviously you talked about you're going through a rebrand. Is there anything else exciting coming up in the future going on?
I'm not sure really. I mean, the peptides thing is huge.
Yeah.
I personally have been doing peptides for 10 years, but it's been a hard market to make sure that you're getting clean, good product that can be used on humans. And so I've just really been studying that, researching that. I just signed with a company. So we'll have peptides to offer. Stem cells have been wildly growing. That is,
yes, absolutely.
yep, that's so exciting. just the healing properties of those and exosomes. I think we're kind of working on, I love copper peptides. Copper is like the most healing anti-aging thing that you can do for your skin. And we're going to start doing some kind of vampire facials with copper. And I've kind of linked into this celebrity market that I don't know how this happened, but I'm not
Sounds
sure.
like your career pathway, so it's probably going to be the next big thing right there.
Yeah, yep. So, I mean, I think, the thing is just to always be evolving and educating myself and staying on the up and up. And aesthetics is always going to be there. And I love aesthetics, and my nurses do, and we are good at it. But you have to keep going. There's stem cell facials that are, literally the before and afters unreal. And that's that first laser I bought that I said I'd live in. So, but yeah, I think it's really just regenerative medicine is here, and people are ready for it.
Yeah, it's definitely in the last cut. I think more and more people are actually putting in the research and thought into it.
Yeah.
So I think that's a fantastic direction to be going.
Yep.
Well, Nick, for listeners who want to connect with you or learn more about you and your business, what's the best way for them to reach out to you and learn more?
Honestly, we're just launching a website. It is bodyopt.com. And it is, oh my God, I love this website. I'm so excited to launch it. I can't even stand it. We've been working on it for months and months and months. I had no idea how much work that was going to be.
Entrepreneurship, right?
Oh my,
it's all
yep.
encompassing. Now you're in the IT world.
Now I push that to the limit. So thank God for people who do IT, because I'll do your hormones. Take your computer away from me. But we're just getting ready to launch here in the next 2 weeks. And so bodyopt.com will be coming out. Tons of education, tons of information about what we do and what's out there and what is regenerative medicine, a lot of stuff about hormones. And my prices are all right out there, so you can see, like, right up front, this is what it's going to cost you. Because I think really people have to be conscious of that, and they're already scared of what healthcare is costing. And so I'm very upfront about, this is what it's going to take for you. This is what it's going to cost, because I can't stand to, no matter what I'm buying, if I have to sit with a salesman and go through that whole thing. And really what I'm thinking is, just tell me what it costs, so I know if I can even do it. And so the prices will be right out there on the website. And then you have the opportunity to chat with our staff. We just went through and put in a whole new phone system, messaging system, digital platform. So we're growing up.
Good. That is very exciting stuff. Well, I appreciate your time here today, and I appreciate everyone for listening to the show. We'll see everyone on the next one.
Know someone with serious grit and a great growth story? Send them our way at grittogrowthpodcast.com/guest.